Good morning. I hope you're doing well once again, as always, in the Lord. The Lord, in so many ways, acts in us and through us to bring His holiness to everyone we are around. Uh, this morning, I have a little message at the beginning. We will have a new YouTube channel with great content like before. To get to the new channel, please click on the box in the upper right-hand corner. The new channel is called St. Anthony of Padua Parish Videos. It will be the future place for all new weekly reflections. This first reading, Genesis chapter 18, verses 1 to 10a. Abraham understood that God held him responsible to be hospitable to the guests that God sent his way. Abraham responded generously to the guests God did send his way. One of them, perhaps God as very self, promises that Sarah will have a son a year later when he will return. Abraham gave much, but God far more. In the third reading, Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42, when Jesus arrived, Martha assumed that the traditional hospitality was the duty that she had to attend to immediately. Jesus saw it differently. On his arrival, Jesus felt that was his duty to bring divine life to anyone who wished to receive it. Heaven had a greater responsibility to offer hospitality than earth, because what heaven has to offer is far more important than what earth has to offer. The Lord said to Martha in response to her concern that many things needed to be done. There is need of only one thing. Mary, who sat beside the Lord at his feet, listening to him speak, was seeking that one thing that was necessary, the love of God that enables us to be as loving as God is loving, by opening ourselves to have Christ live in us, sharing his divine life with us. In Sunday's second reading, Paul declares that what Jesus had already made known to Mary, the mystery that was hidden for ages, it is Christ in us, the hope for glory. In John chapter 17, verse 26, Jesus says, I made known to them your name, that is God himself, and I will make it known, continue to make God known, that the love with which you loved me may be in them and I in them. The only way to have God's love in us is to have God himself in us. Jesus said in John chapter 15, verse 5b, whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing. The fruit that we will bear is his love, and the results of having his love within us. Jesus is calling upon us to make his presence within us and his never-ending hospitality of being our life source. His hospitality is his pouring his life into us as the core of our lives. Without him pouring his divine life or grace into us, we become just another animal of this earth, spiritually dead. In the second reading, Colossians chapter 1, verses 24 to 28, now I rejoice in my sufferings for your sake, and in my flesh I am filling up what is lacking in the afflictions of Christ on behalf of his body, which is the church. It is not natural, but rather above the natural, to rejoice in sufferings. I have always thought of what is natural to for the living beings of this world is to seek pleasure and good feelings and to avoid pain and upset. Although this definition is quite simplistic, I think it is helpful. As long as we are in this world, there must be some degree of suffering and pain. This world is not paradise. In John chapter 14, verse 27, Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives, do I give it to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid." Did Jesus have peace on the cross? Humanly speaking, no, because his body was racked with horrific pain. Spiritually speaking, yes, because he was at one with God's will. We live in a world that was paradise, but with a tree of good and evil, something good and something bad. Until we are in heaven completely and totally separated from what is evil, there must be pain and troubles. Once again, I remind you, please visit our new YouTube channel and subscribe. Do so by clicking on the box in the upper right-hand corner. Thank you very much.